our Bible story today, we remember that on Palm Sunday, Jesus rode into the city of Jerusalem on the back of a donkey. As he did that, people shouted with joy and celebrated by waving the branches from palm trees, of all things. Maybe you remember doing that one year in church even. Once Jesus got into the city, he told some of his disciples to go into the city, and they would find a certain man who would have a special room for them called an upper room. And it was in the upper room where Jesus and his disciples could eat their Passover dinner, a special dinner. When the disciples went into the city, sure enough, they found this man who was happy to let Jesus use the upper room for their special dinner. Now, as we think about this special dinner that we call a Passover dinner, and we think about it in this special upper room and the owner of this house who let Jesus use this special room, I started to think about how this man must have felt. Here was Jesus, holy, important, wonderful Jesus. What could this man, let's go ahead and call him Fred, what could Fred have that could possibly mean anything to Jesus? Well, he had an upper room. I remember when I was much younger, my dad and I would go over to my Grandma West's house on Saturday mornings to help her with some things around the house. Just above her garage was a small storage area that you could only access through a really small crawl space after climbing up a small fold-down ladder. Well, guess whose job that was? Mine. At the time, I wasn't nearly as big as I am now, and I was the only one who could climb up the flimsy ladder, crawl on my hands and knees into the cobweb-filled crawl space, and get to the storage room. It was quite the task, but I was the only one who could do it. Now, my dad was a big guy, just like I am now, and he could do a whole lot of great things. My grandma was a really smart lady, and I loved to learn from her and spend time with her. But they couldn't do this job. Only I could do this job. That always made me feel special. Like Fred, remember the name we gave our guy who owned the upper room that Jesus could use? Maybe he didn't always feel like he could do important things, big things. When the disciples asked for his help, I wonder if Fred maybe laughed a little bit. What could I possibly do or have that would be helpful to someone like Jesus? Well, that upper room turned out to be a pretty important part of Jesus and his story. Like our friend Fred, you are someone special that Jesus not only loves, but is really interested in. What do you think you could do to help Jesus this week?